Are you ready?
Tony Caravan. You've been subjected to a highly sophisticated form of propaganda.
It's just what you need, and not what you don't.
Just what you need. Captain's Log Supplemental. It's 4:09 a.m. Earth Time, Eastern Daylight Time. It's October 9th in their calendar year 2021. I seem to have entered the Earth way before my time. I'll try to do the best. I just don't know if I can.
You're listening to Tony Caravan Live.
The only station that matters.
You know, the problem is I got this granola stuff. And when you have holes in your teeth because you lost big chunks of metal that were put in there by aliens or something when you were a child, who knows when, it gets caught up there. And I didn't know I was buying granola. You know, that's the whole thing. It's a heck of a way to start a show, I'll tell you that.
Really funny.
Yeah, why do I look different every time you see me? Because I'm a time traveler. My friend's a time traveler, my friend, and I'm trying to get comfortable with a microphone, and I've got a fresh pack of Kona coffee. For some reason, there was like the chat had like two chats showing. Chat rate was like 2. Average watch time now is 0.07 seconds. You figure this out? I don't know. Hey, I learned that there are plugins, however, for this program, audio program plugins, you know, that have everything from reverb to voice changes to, you know, gains, limiters, all that stuff. And all that nonsense that I was going through. I mean, this is this open source thing I'm working with. But I'm not sure if I want to really mess around with that because it's almost like the last time I was doing it. The effects are going to take place on this machine, not that machine. And the problem is this machine over here is the machine where I have the headphones hooked up to and a monitor and the sound, such as, I know this is to drive people crazy, but, you know, I have to do it to demonstrate that this machine.
Wait, here comes a brother I know for sure can rap.
You're right, man. You're right. It's just that I need to read lyrics, though. I don't know how these guys remember this stuff, you know? It's like I met a guy one time down in out in California on the boardwalk, Venice Beach boardwalk, they call it, even though it's made of concrete. I guess at one time it was a boardwalk, like the Atlantic City boardwalk. And I was sitting in somebody's beach, you know, apartment, you know, I mean, boardwalk apartment, you know, the way it works there. I mean, they were like people had these rooms that were the size of closets, and I don't know what they paid for them, but it was ridiculous. And this is years ago, you know. They're bug infested and all that stuff. I mean, that was a real. I mean, this is after the hippie era, but you know, the hippies had already like destroyed that place. But anyway, this dude is there, and we're killing time, waiting for this couple who lived in this place. And of course, even though it was, you know, L.A., Venice Beach, and all that stuff, you know, their door was open. We just were in there, sitting there waiting. And he decides to recite the poem "If" by Rudyard Kipling. You know, it's like one of his things. And I think he was one of these guys who was a Venice Beach regular, you know, like one of the guys out on the boardwalk, so to speak. You know, I don't know which one he was. I don't think he was like the roller skating guy, you know, used to go around playing guitar or something. I don't know. But I mean, he was one of those, he was a fixture there. Anyway, so we're just sitting in this place. And he just starts reciting the poem "If" by Rudyard Kipling, just from memory. It was really amazing, interesting. And I'm thinking, I got this like, in this hole in here, this has nothing to do with Rudyard Kipling. I have a piece of granola.
Wait, here comes a brother I know for sure can rap.
So, yeah. It's just a little thing, you know? One of those things. Anyway, it's the weekend.
Weekend.
So we might as well look at the
Weekend weather.
Let's see what's going on the Earth View. Here's the latest from CONUS, which is a satellite, a NOAA satellite. It's overlooking the former United States continent. This photograph from space was just taken not too long ago, really. This is pretty much what it looks like out there right now. Kind of a weird little cloud anomaly coming off the coast of Florida. You see that thing? That's kind of weird, isn't it? You know, the things you see when you study these things, like when you watch these things regularly, like I've been looking at these every day now for a while. That's weird, you know, but I'm sure some meteorologist or whatever. I've seen the world from both sides now, from up and down, from here and now, or something like that. And then whatever. I've seen the world's really doesn't matter. Anyway, something about I've seen the world from both clouds. Something was about clouds, wasn't there above the clouds? Both sides of the clouds. I don't know. Both sides now, I think. Joni Mitchell. Forgive my, totally butchering that song. Yeah, that's weird, that weird little line thing. But as you can see, the Carolinas have got a lot of clouds, so there's going to be some sun. There'll be some sunrises there. We're expecting rain up at my neck of the woods today to start. Let me see here. While I'm looking at this, I could be looking at that too. The overnight here was in the 60s. It's still 64 degrees. It's going to hit at 7 a.m. It's supposed to start raining, and the temperature is supposed to drop to about 63. And today our thunderstorms are predicted. So today is finally the day, looks like is coming, that that we have feared. However, I'll be done this show by then, and I'll be up there ready to play Move the Buckets to prevent the water from making it to the second floor. The rest of the country, I don't know. Some clouds. Clouds in the Great Plain area. Great Lakes, Lake Erie looks like it's like almost covered. Most of it's covered. Eastern part's covered with the cloud. Pennsylvania's clouding up. And looks like, is that Virginia's got a big kind of almost a circular cloud over it. Well, anyway, that should give you an idea. Take a look wherever your neck of the woods is. You could pretty much see. Like I say, the contrast at this time of day, because it's night, you can see the city centers, population centers, by the intensity of the streetlights making their way up to low Earth orbit, where this is taken from. And then the contrast of the clouds kind of gives you an idea. Things usually move left to right, so you're either like going to get rain or be cloudy now or soon. But anyway, so that's your
Weekend weather.
and we're back. Here I am. My face look a little bit more clean shaven. It's still a little scruffy, but I tightened it up. You know, I did a little closer shave, and I had to do it. I look like I might be a little more rested today too, don't I? There might be like a subtle bag under the eye. I need one of those, like, I really just need to sleep till like 7 in the morning. You know, like one of these days I'm going to do it. Hopefully. Actually. Anyway, so let's take a quick look at the news and get that out of the way. Because I don't like the news, and I don't watch TV news or any of that stuff. But, and also let's not forget that, over here. Then What, my book, will be ever present there. And of course, Codex, my previous book, is there. And I have a stack of these books here. So this really exists. If you want one, it's available on Amazon.com. Get the print version. Don't be an idiot. My chair just fell down again. Game over. I'll try my Kona coffee. I could have made it a little stronger. I should have. But I gotta admit, I'm not really a coffee connoisseur. I mean, really, as much as one can be, I guess. I'm not sure. But anyway, here's what they're saying. This is Google News. So, we're on this Google platform, subsidiary of Alphabet, fellow, whatever, compatriots of the same, ownership somehow, mutual stockholders, shareholders. I just like to read down these things just because it's so ridiculous, and it just like kind of underscores the reason why I no longer have cable or satellite TV and have no interest in getting it. So, first one at the top. Mitch McConnell to Biden. I stepped up to fill Schumer void on debt. Won't next time. Like I said, said this too many times. One last time. I'm so tired of hearing him talk about this debt, as if the debt is real. I mean, they're so far in debt. There comes a point where it's like I'm pouring coffee right now. It's like if you got lost in a forest, okay? Imagine this analogy. And you're so far in that forest. All right. I mean, you're days and days in there. And you ran out of water. You know, you might have 2 swigs left in your canteen between 2 people. And you got a granola bar, like one that is granola, something caught in my tooth. And you're miles and miles lost inside a forest. And you don't have a compass. You have no idea where you are, right? You get dropped down by some black helicopter. Okay, that's the debt, you know? So at that point, it's like, here's what you do. You figure a way to survive, right? The point, you stop saying, look, there's no way in hell we're going to get out of here, you know, in any direction as far as we know, because we've been traveling, whatever. We're miles from anything, and we're not going to live long enough and have the energy to travel 10 miles in any direction. So our best bet is to hopefully find a water source, build a campsite, campfire, find berries, you know, if we're a hunter type of people or whatever, do some kind of trapping. Maybe find a clearing, look and hope that you could make a campfire in the middle of this clearing and burn leaves in the daytime, you know, to put smoke up that would hopefully, you know, get the attention of someone if they were looking for you or something. Whatever it is, the point of the matter is you're so far lost that there's no way out. All right. Except a miracle, you know, you basically. And that's how the debt is. There's no way out. We're so far in debt, and they keep talking about it like this. And then they say, oh, this new bill won't cost any money. Of course, everything costs something. Even phony money, even fiat money costs something. Anyway, you know, I could go on, and maybe that wasn't the greatest analogy, but I don't know. It pretty much makes the point. I'm still a little tired, I'm realizing. Now, Kamala Harris skips U.S.-Mexico border security meeting and goes to New Jersey instead. I guess the weather was nice in New Jersey yesterday. It was pretty nice here. I got this new app, you know, that tells you how much vitamin D you're getting from the sun and all that stuff. I used that yesterday, so I actually got almost a pill's worth, you know, a supplement's worth of vitamin D, according to the app. China demands information on whether U.S. submarine collision caused a nuclear leak. U.S. nuclear-powered submarine hits unknown object in South China Sea amid regional tensions. Didn't that happen before? Do you remember that? That's like the second nuclear submarine in South China Sea or in that general vicinity that like hit something. I mean, don't these guys have like radar or the 21st century equivalent of it? How do you, have a collision with a nuclear submarine, right? This high tech. I mean, if we've got the same, if it's spread to the point that the people in charge of nuclear submarines and everything else, as bad as the people in customer service, fast food restaurants, delivery. Yesterday I ordered, remember I said I was going to go to the store or get a delivery. Well, I decided to do both. I walked to the store, which was good. Ended up taking off 2 pounds. It's amazing. You can walk and lose 2 pounds. But I also put in an order and had some stuff delivered, like bottled spring water and things I couldn't carry. And in my order that I put, I ordered turmeric. All right, because that turmeric's a nice anti-inflammatory. I talk about it often on this show. And, they have this thing where they can make a substitution and you can approve a substitution, by the shopper, whoever's shopping for you, who's shopping and delivering your stuff. Well, this is the second time that without my permission, and I didn't approve it, the person was going to substitute turmeric for red pepper flakes. Now, this time I caught it and I put no, disapprove, do not, reimburse. And I caught them. Now, how do you get red pepper flakes from turmeric? I mean, and why would you even, any spice, would you substitute like that? I mean, I could see a brand of spice. Or there's actually one spice that you could conceivably do that to. There's two different things you can do it to. One would be oregano and something called marjoram. Some people say that American oregano is really like marjoram, something like that. It's not really oregano, though I can't imagine why, because I grow oregano out in my backyard and it grows wild, like bushes of it. So I don't see what the problem would be. And the other one would be, I could see maybe replacing cinnamon powder with cinnamon sticks or vice versa. But how do you get red pepper flakes for turmeric? Just to show you. Yeah, and this is a nuclear submarine, and they collided with something. In a potential war zone too. I don't know, something fishy going on there. And now we got Bernie Sanders again. Like, what is this guy? Like, what does he even talk? Yeah, 2 times he was humiliated on the the national stage, caved, right? Was basically bitch slapped. And now he implies that this cinema and mansion are appeasing Big Pharma. Like, Big Pharma is part of the corporatocracy, Bernie. You are irrelevant. You are a sellout and the worst kind of individual that you caved twice. You let down all those people who supported you, sent you money and all that stuff. And now you're making weird accusations about an organization, Big Pharma, which is basically already part of the ruling corporatocracy that runs this country. So, there's 4 stories from Google News in order. Like, this is the top. I just went there and did a screen capture. And you see the absurdity of it. Harris goes to New Jersey, for whatever reason, to get a suntan on the beach. McConnell talking about some mythical debt, right? It's already in the double-digit trillions. Bernie Sanders is a sellout, and a nuclear submarine they can't. Second nuclear submarine that I know of that in Asia, underwater, generally speaking, has been involved in some kind of collision. A nuclear submarine. And this is this whole idea, because we were talking about, well, we weren't, but the U.S. is giving nuclear powered submarines, allegedly, to Australia, which has got the French, going crazy. Because the French had apparently a deal inked with Australia to provide them with some subs. And the question is whether or not they're just nuclear powered subs or if they've got nuclear weapons in them. And nobody knows that. And because they're, that's national security. How would you know? Who would tell? So you don't know about that. Kind of crazy stuff. Well, just keeping with our regular, everyday sort of things. And we might as well... did I say...
Good morning.
No, I don't think I did. Good morning. You know, today's show will be...
Jukebox Gold.
I'm not sure about that. But speaking of... this is our music feature. If you're new to this show, I basically... I wasn't going to do it every day, but I probably will because there's so much music. I mean, come on. I'm bringing you some albums that you may not have heard of or that you may not have heard about or listened to in a very long time. And this is a band called the Belmont Playboys, and this album is called Wolf Patrol. This is a classic, man. This is a classic. If you're having a party, all right, get Belmont Playboys, Wolf Patrol, and just play the whole damn thing. All right? Just play the whole damn thing. In fact, most of the albums that I present here are play the whole thing type of albums, you know. None of this one-hit wonder, like, you know, type of idea. Great album. Great cover. Belmont Playboys, Wolf Patrol. Little black cat on there, too. So it's like perfect for your Halloween party. Though it's not necessarily scary music, but it's the stuff you want to mix in. Because, you know, Halloween party, you want to be rocking and rolling with the occasional, you know, Crypt Kicker 5 thrown in there. I was working in the lab late one night. All right. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. It was a smash. It was a graveyard smash. Anyway.
The only station that matters.
So that's your music choice, selection, suggestion of the day. I have nothing else to report on the grow room. Everything still looks fine there, though my lettuce plant isn't looking as good as I want it to. Remember, countdown to this. Sun's going to explode. Earth isn't doing too great. I was watching a little bit of that La Palma earthquake or volcano yesterday before I went to sleep last night. They got the live camera on that thing. Man, that thing's really active. That looks way more active than the Hawaiian volcano from what was it, a couple of years ago. You know, and there have been other volcanoes. There's a lot of volcanic activity going on around the planet. Now, whether or not this is all related to a lot of the solar activity and the solar cycle and this thing I've been trying to get across to you or not, I can't say with 100% accuracy, but it is, you know, it has been postulated. Our magnetic field is weak, and there seems to be some activity on some of the other planets in the solar system. So, yeah, you know, things aren't looking great for the late, great planet Earth. Civilization is about a quarter of a century, 25 years, away from possible near extinction. And the average person doesn't even know that. It's pretty crazy, right? In your mind.
Did you accidentally inject yourself with some kind of psychotropic agent?
Nope. I'm telling you exactly what a lot of serious people are talking about. Man, I'm like crashing. It's weird. Oh, why? There's nothing in that food should have put me asleep unless it's... there's certain things. What I'm trying to do, and you can't see it here, and I don't know why. This screen, I'm trying to adjust the microphone with my handkerchief because you need like a vice grips or something. See if I can't even bring it up, like into view to show you. Cone of coffee. It's crazy.
Your papers, please.
So the title of today's show is, basically
ROCKFLUX Live.
10/9/21, and sorry, we'll never make it. And the sorry we'll never make it has to do with the title card that we're looking at right now on the screen. And that is the bridge of the Enterprise. Looking at the ROCKFLUX logo. Somehow the ROCKFLUX logo is on the planet that the Enterprise is heading to. But the idea is that that's never going to happen. I don't even think I'm really, it's doubtful we'll get to Mars. I think they might have an unmanned mission to Mars with one of those like Tesla robots. That would be really cool. And I'm really looking forward to it. Don't think so. So don't think I'm one of these people who's against it. I think it'd be nothing cooler, even with like a lunar thing, for Tesla to like send people to, or send a ship to the moon and or Mars, and to have these Tesla robots, which if you haven't seen, just look them up on YouTube and watch, to get a picture. You can get a picture of, just look it up on the internet and you'll see a photo of them. And, I could bring one up too. Because, the daily photo here was Dr. Strangelove, who's in charge, which we don't need this. So let's see. Let me find. I don't think I have a copy of a Tesla robot. No. So I'm going to have to go get one. All right. Tesla robot. And images. They have all kinds of promo pictures of these things, so it's not a big deal. So we'll just take this. Let me, I gotta grab it, name it, Tesla robot, put it in my proper place, eliminate this, properties. Anyway, daily photo, properties, browse, desktop. This is a roundabout way. It's 4:43 a.m. in the morning. What do you expect? Things are going to go slow. Okay. I'll take this to full screen because you might as well get the full idea. This was from a live, webcast that he did. So you could see him in the bottom corner, I think. So that's the Tesla robot. World built by humans for humans. And that's his idea. And it's a smart idea. It's like, if you're going to build a robot at this juncture, it's going to be friendly. It eliminates dangerous, repetitive, boring tasks. That's nonsense. It's 5'8". It can only carry 45 pounds, so it could pick up a package from Amazon. Weighs about 125 pounds. It could only run at 5 miles per hour, extend its arm, its arms extended about 10 pounds. His idea is that this thing couldn't turn on people because it wouldn't be as strong. Most people would be able to overpower it. But the idea is wouldn't it be neat, that classic word neat, if these things were walking around on the moon or Mars, right? That would be a kind of a cool thing, I think. So I'm going to crop this and save it. Well, not just onto the screen. And the right side. Tesla bot. So in case we want to bring that back up later on, we got it over there. Daily photo. But, as far as the Starship Enterprise type of thing, and, in the back of the mind, sometimes when Elon Musk is talking, and I pay attention to, I've watched him talk, many times. I've followed his adventures. But this is what he wants. He wants to see us become a spacefaring, planet type of thing. This Federation and all that stuff. And it's just not going to happen because we have these cyclical extinction events, or what we call near extinction events. Obviously, we wouldn't be around if they were pure extinction, total extinction events. But we don't seem to make it. I mean, all you have to do is look at the history of the planet. All civilizations all that's left of all the civilizations are rocks, are the things that will survive. See, it's not as if, there weren't other things. Because when you delve deep into forbidden archaeology, as they call it, that guy Cremo has a couple of books out, him and some other dude, and other finds by, archaeologists that just don't make it out to the mainstream. That, there are strange things that are uncovered all the time that are beyond, pyramids and sphinxes and, stone structures, and all that's petroglyphs, carvings on rocks and stuff like that. Like even the things out in the desert of the U.S., and you'll find these old civilizations and stuff, and you'll see these weird circular buildings and different kinds of stuff. And you can see within them like areas and actually pieces of like almost petrified, not necessarily petrified, but I mean wood, where there was wood incorporated into the structure type of thing. The same with ruins over in, all over the world, actually. So what you have to remember is what remained after thousands and thousands of years are the things that don't disintegrate. And basically, the things that don't disintegrate are basically stone, I mean, even metal, oxidizes, rusts, and just like brittle, becomes nothing, And so, but sometimes, little fragments of things can survive under certain conditions. But all previous civilizations on the planet that we know of, and there's certainly, I believe there's plenty that we don't even know of, but the ones that we know of dating back well over 12,000 years, possibly 36,000 years from my standpoint, that none of them, the only thing that has survived is the stone. Unless there's some stuff they've got hidden in the Vatican or in some private collections in Europe, which I believe they do have. Some of these World Economic Davos type of people, World Economic Forum Davos, sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists. But, yeah. Who knows? Maybe they've got some kind of controlling device and stuff that was found in those, granite, vault underground, Who knows? But the point is, no, it's not. That Star Trek thing, as much as I've, watched every Star Trek original series, I don't know, 100 times each or more, I'm totally fluent with the Next Generation, seen all the Star Trek movies, watched the whole Voyager series from beginning to end, and bits and pieces of some of the other ones. Not all the other ones were as good. As far as I was concerned, it's the original series. Obviously, the Next Generation is the best. I mean, though the original series in its own right is just a classic. But Voyager was pretty good. But that one about that weird star base with those goofy, when they started to get into goofy Muppet characters and stuff like that, it just got a little too out of control. But when they brought back the movies in the past several years, they were done well. So, and apparently there's another one coming out, in another year or so. It takes so long to get these things out. I'm sorry if I do this thing with my mouth, because it's what am I got 3 bags of this granola stuff. I didn't know it was granola when I ordered it. I ordered it online, and I thought it was some kind of snacky type of thing that I could maybe just sprinkle on top of yogurt or ice cream or something. The word granola was really so small that on the internet view of when I was ordering on this Instacart thing, I didn't see it. And it turns out it's there. What am I going to do? I got 3 bags of this stuff. I mean, it tastes good, but it's I almost need to buy a mortar and pestle and grind it down, or, in the powder or something to just get the flavor out of it. I do have a thing that I can grind seeds with. It's like a coffee grinder thing, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe I would ruin the blades or something. Have to see.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
43 minutes and 9 seconds into the show. It's 4:52 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's on a Saturday. Nobody in their right mind is up except me.
Taking you back to the realms and depths of time.
So, yeah. Here we are. Here I am. I ended up coming back every day. I said I wasn't sure I was going to do that. My coffee's gotten warm. Carafe doesn't keep it. Oh, this thing makes 5 cups of coffee. That's interesting. I thought it was like a 2 cup of coffee thing. Here I am, caffeinating myself out. So the idea of this thing was, sorry, was it a sorry? We'll never make it. Is that it? I have to look again. Short-term memory's going. Sorry, we'll never make it. Captain's log supplemental. Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it there. And looking at the news, I mean, at this insanity here, you know, it's just every day it just gets more and more, you know, absurd that I just don't, you know, I don't see anything happening. And it's really too bad because, you know, when you take the concept of the Tesla robot, for example, you know, and like I said, I've criticized Elon Musk for a number of things. But I mean, you know, he just come up with some good ideas, you gotta admit it. And he does follow through on them, which is, you know, unlike a lot of other people. So I don't doubt that he won't follow through with this. But, you know, it's interesting. Tesla bot. I mean, it'd be out of our reach, the average person's reach. What do you think one of those things would cost? Especially the first year or two, a couple of years. Yeah. Hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Would have to be. I mean, for, you know, to get it to that point. And there's a lot of technology. He's going to have to steal a lot of people from different companies, like Japanese companies and Boston Dynamics and all these other places. And then he's going to have DARPA breathing down his throat. Because there's nothing better than, you know, what DARPA wants is they just want these robots. They want robotic armies. They know they can't trust people. You know, I mean, there are diehard soldiers, but you can't trust them. You know, when it comes like cops, totalitarian cops, I'm talking about, not like soldiers defending the homeland. I mean, they can't trust, you know, people to turn on their own blood, you know, to push questionable policies or, you know, things that don't even make logical sense. It's like even right now. Like I was really surprised having someone who's been to Australia 3 different times and having met a lot of people and did a lot of traveling around different parts there. You know, spending time just walking around and, you know, drinking in pubs and stuff, meeting people. And seeing their total disregard for, you know, authority type figures. Going in bars where on the wall above me it said, "We don't call police." And to see that country be totally like turned into some kind of totalitarian police state. It's just like, it just seems, I don't know. There's something wrong with it. Like I can't, it's like I'm still not even sure I believe it, you know. Problem is I've lost touch. That was the first part of my life. I was over there so many years, like 35 years ago, even longer. That was like my first big adventure, you know, Southeast Asia area. And it's like, so I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know anybody. I know why I do, but, you know, and I guess I could get in touch, probably try to get in touch with somebody if I wanted to, I guess, or whatever. What? Just to ask them the question that the cops really, you know. It's kind of weird. When I first got up and splashed cold water in my face and all that stuff, I felt pretty good. But now it's like, oh, I'm just sitting around waiting for the rain today. You know, that's basically it. See what happens in my my attic. If the leaks that I patched worked, but even knowing that, even if they did, or some of them did, which would be nice, I still have this one area that I was unable to patch. So it's a matter of like how much rain you get and how many times I have to empty, dump these things out the window, the attic window, the water that fills these things up. It's no way to live, right? It's really, the average person just has no concept of that. To live like that. But at least it, I guess it makes life interesting. A friend of mine keeps calling me trying to come up with all kinds of solutions, like of what to do. Put a tarp over this and that, the other and stuff. And, I don't know. It's like, it's almost hopeless unless I could find some person that's like, it would have to be like this perfect confluence of events, some guy who's like, oh yeah, a buddy of mine has a big ladder and I'll do that for you. Yeah, just give me a couple $100 or, but what are the odds of finding that? I can see what's going to happen. Some guy's going to go like, yeah, I could do it. I don't know. It's going to cost me like $100 some to rent this ladder, or a buddy of mine needs to come along. He wants like $200. He could bring his ladder or his truck, and I don't know, probably $300 on top of that. So it's like $500-$600. I don't know. Or we could do this or that. It might be $1,000. I'm like, well, good luck. Go find somebody else's roof to fix, because I don't even have 100. Especially this month. I just figured my finances out. Things actually turned out decent this month. Some guy owes me $12. For something. Like I do some like a web hosting thing. I still host a couple of sites, and the guy hasn't paid his $12, and it's the 9th of October. It's due on the 1st. And I sent him 3 notices, email notices. Like goofy stuff like that. That's why I hated being in business, and that's why why I'm retired now. I hated billing people, and that whole thing. It just got out of control. Too many people ripped you off. There's people walking around right now that owe me thousands of dollars. And it's like, it's not even on their mind. I saw one thing, some guy I built a website for, designed all kinds of stuff for, had some kind of publication or whatever. In this area, actually, it was like the before, because I was in this area, and then I moved away, and then I came back to this area, general area. And there's this guy who was putting out this publication or whatever. And he ripped me off, right? And I see he's got his publication. It's just some advertising rag thing. But I did a website for him, years and years ago. He never paid me. And he's back. And there were other people like that. When I used to be in the magazine business, people put an ad in. They just never pay for the ad. And it's like, You put it in collections or something. You know what I mean? I just get fed up and tired. You know, with that kind of thing. It's like business, you know, there came a time where I just said, I'm not going to do it anymore. That's why I was an independent type of guy. I really was more into the creative and the producing and that kind of stuff, because it was like project work. Because every business I got involved with, inevitably there were people who just ripped you off in one way, shape, or form. And how do they, you know, it's like, how do they live with themselves? I mean, I guess that's that whole idea of being a sociopath or something. I mean, or whatever. You're having no empathy. Why does this always happen? There always seems to be like more coffee in this carafe thing, and it fills the thing like way up to the top. Yeah, man, I'm beat. I can like almost go back to sleep, but it doesn't make sense because I don't know. I slept enough. So what's the purpose of today's show? We're into this thing. We're not going to get to space because there'll be an Earth cataclysm before that. The news is all absurd. You know, everything's crazy. We're all being lied to. I've covered just about everything over 500 plus episodes. Nobody's bought my book, which is a good book. I gave a copy of a book to a friend of mine. Asked her if there's like a short story in there. Asked her if she read it. I told her, I said, just read that short story. It's only like 5 pages long. I asked her the other day if she read it. No, I didn't get around to it. I'm like, the thing will take you like a couple of minutes to read. People just don't give a shit. I don't know. What do people do? What do you do? You know? I guess this is one of those shows I probably just won't. It's here. It'll exist. I won't even put it on social media since it's just a morning talk show. You know, literally a talk show. Me talking, you know, about stuff. Killing time. Some guy who wrote 10 books, 50 songs, 500 videos, traveled the world over, all kinds of experiences, innovated this, that, the other. Nobody gives a shit. Not that they should, but I mean, still, you think there'd at least be an interest. Well, it's too early in the morning. And nobody watches the thing later on in the day either. And I've had some classic shows. They all haven't been this like slow. It's just that it gets to that point, you know. And this coffee's not waking me up. I should have looked at that pack to see if it was like decaf. I threw it away. I just poured it into this can. But I don't think it's the same Kona stuff I got before. Besides, there's even caffeine in decaf, as far as I know, a little bit. Silence. The sound of silence.
You have actually opened the door to another dimension.
Yeah.
Why are you telling us this?
Because I'm just hunting for something that's going to somehow get me out of this like funk.
Wait, here comes a brother I know for sure can rap.
And there used to be some good movies. I think that's from like a movie from the 80s or something. Like, one of those break dances. Like a break dance 2 Electric Boogaloo or something. I don't know. I mean, that was like, that'd be one of the funniest titles ever. Breakdance 2 Electric Boogaloo. I mean, you could hear the guy in the, sitting at the conference table or whatever, saying that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, the weather's been nice lately, I mean, yeah. It's been pretty nice. I was thinking of that this morning before I got out of bed because I slept with the window open last night. And yeah, it's like almost better than some parts of the summer were, as far as having a window open and stuff. It wasn't like too cold, wasn't too humid. Yeah, Goldilocks zone, like mid 60s at night. And I think, if I'm correct, well, it's going to be like high 50s, low 60s for the next week. But apart from today's thunderstorms and, potential little upstairs nightmare, the days following look to be get up to like, mid 70s, low to mid 70s in the daytime. So this is a nice fall we're having. It's interesting. I pulled a bunch of peppers and beans, and some kale out of my garden yesterday, and I hadn't even planned on it. I just went out to get like 10 minutes. I just wanted to get some like 10 minutes of sunlight. I noticed the sun was out. I'm going like, I want to check this app I got. I got this app. I'd show it to you. Well, I'll try to show it to you, but I mean, you have to put personal information in it because it's really personalized to you. Hope I didn't mess up my teeth with that granola stuff. Darn. Teeth are... The idea that dentists can mess with kids, and mess them up for life. So I'm looking at this thing, and it's according to this, there's actually the potential to get there's like a 5-hour window to get vitamin D today, which is interesting. So I watched some Apple TV stuff yesterday. See, now, according to the Apple app, it doesn't even show rain. And unlike the TV app or the computer app, I'm looking at you now, it shows Tuesday and Saturday rain. Like sometimes I wonder if it's like the same, like this, like where are they getting their weather from? How could they be like so off? You know, one says it's going to rain within like 2 hours here. That and the iPhone says it's not even going to rain today. This one says the rest of the week is clear, sun and clouds. And the iPhone says Tuesday and Friday it's going to rain. This is what I try to say about this 2021 technology. It's like they've gotten worse at weather forecasting. That's for sure. You know, computing is like totally ridiculous. And then you expect that we're going to be traveling through the stars, right? Some space federation. You know, in this shooting gallery space, too. Because without the shields, you know, I mean, that's like one of the most underrated things. You know, they always bring up the shields, you know, shields up. You know, when the Klingons or the Romulans are in there, some, you know, battle stations, right? Condition alert. But you'd have to have the shields on nonstop, you know, just because of all the, you know, if you're traveling through space at, you know, even what they call impulse power, you know, let alone warp speed. Right? They're like, well, you're in some kind of warp bubble, so you're not. There's just so much stuff out there. You know? It's like some science fiction, they just don't go into detail enough. You know, it's in the world of like theater and film. You know, in theater there's the proscenium arch. And this whole concept in entertainment, it's like suspension of disbelief. So once you go into that theater, whether it's a movie theater or, you know, you're watching a play or whatever, you're supposed to have suspension of disbelief. But it can't be like so obvious, like, you know, like some weird magic show where you can see that the girl that they're sawing in half, that part of her dress is, you know, hanging out somewhere else or something, so that she's not really there or something. Yeah, suspension of disbelief is only possible if it's logical, right? And I just don't see that, you know, with space travel to the stars, you know. In that shooting gallery that's out there. Especially with, you know, human beings. And then the whole idea of like, how practical is it to be in a spacesuit, you know, or on a planet, a moon or whatever, where you can't breathe? Yeah. I don't know. I mean myself, I guess this lockdown thing, maybe that's what they're like preparing us for, Battlestar Galactica, right? Where we're all going to be just living in these, well, not all. The super elite are planning to escape into some arcs that they've already built. And the whole Elon Musk thing, SpaceX and stuff like that, and the Space Force are just like intentional like leaks to, like so much cover stories, but to allow them to do the work on these big projects to save people from this upcoming, disaster, extinction event while they build these things. And then all these people are going to get on board and then escape. But, I mean, that's like kind of a sci-fi idea. But the only thing about that is that it's not likely because when the sun, goes through its thing, right, and shoots this cloud at us, it's going to continue going through the solar system. And so it's very, very unlikely that unless they left, years before, and this thing's only 20 some years away, that it wouldn't be possible. I've got to take a short break. So I'm going to leave you with a song. I'll be back.
I dropped my overpriced smartphone and it shattered. Surprisingly, my first thought was that I was free. Free from the virtual cage that tethers us but tears us apart. Free from the notifications, replies, and requests. Free from the need to respond. Free from the falsities and deceptions by those with warped agendas. I was no longer a slave to tech or to any person, place, or thing. Yeah. I canceled my cellular service and got a voice over IP phone. Broke the chains that bind us to a ringtone. I went for a walk and noticed the world all around me. Sat in the sun and felt what it was like to be human again. Free from the virtual cage. Free to enjoy natural life. Free from interruptions. No longer enslaved. The way it used to be.
I think that was longer than 3 minutes. Oh, wait a second. No. Huh. It's as if it detected that I wasn't there. YouTube is not receiving enough data to maintain a stream.